Welcome back, Fatties, to the Phat Chat, where the pH is more toxic than Lafroig. Disgusting. I'm your host tonight, Neff, joined by Joshua, Cisco, and Chon. Here on the Phat Chat, your interests are our interests, usually. And as we've mentioned, we need your help. If the Phat Chat can reach 1,500 followers on Instagram, 1,000 plays on any platform, we will be holding another raffle with a grand prize of 2 topic rights and a PS4. An update on that, though. With your help, we're 1/3 of the way there. And to be honest, guys, since the PS5 is out, if you guys can help us get to those followers, then maybe the raffle will be for a PS5. That's 5. So help us out. Post us on your stories and your feed, shout us out, and we'll do the same for you. In tonight's episode, we'll be discussing Does Age Matter? Fitness, and we have the pleasure of interviewing a special guest tonight, Ayanna from Books and Booze. So, let's get into this. Ayanna, would you please mind?
Please mind?
Do you not mind? Do you mind? What's the grammar on that? I think you're still muted.
Technical difficulties,
Okay,
ladies and
there I
gentlemen.
am.
Hey,
There you go.
Hey,
Okay, so
welcome.
yeah,
Thank
please.
you.
Do you want to introduce yourself?
my name is Ayanna. I'm from Books, Booze, and Reviews, and I'm a longtime friend of Joshua.
I don't know who that
Okay.
is.
I'm sorry.
Never met her a day in my life.
I feel that way too at times, but because his mom's my friend, I gotta claim him.
Just because. So
Only-
to kind of get forward onto that. Sorry about that, Sean. What was that?
No, go ahead. I was just gonna roast Josh a little bit, but no, go ahead. We'll save
Roast
him.
him up. We'll roast. We'll wait for later. We posted a story on our Instagram. We asked a few questions for our friends, and we asked the fatties for their favorite reads. So quite a few people say that the Bible is the main reason. What did it say?
The Bible.
Quite a
They
few
said
people say that the Bible and the Bible itself, and the main reason is because it has answers to everything.
I guess.
What? Do anyone
No,
else want to read another one?
Yeah, I mean, I could.
I've read it.
yeah,
I don't
could
know.
see that.
Amazon
read the
has it
full
reviewed for
thing,
like 3 out of
yeah.
5. I'm just kidding.
Something like that. I think it has 3 Amazon stickers.
Is it like the stars thing?
Yeah, basically.
I don't use Amazon.
Oh. I think the American Standard version is like the best one.
I just use them on one.
Do you? What about the new King James version? Something like that.
Oh, I
don't
can
know.
totally understand that one.
Yeah, I like taking out the Lord's name, replacing it with God. So
How dare
I
you?
just put Lord.
and
Make sure not to emphasize
the capital
who's
T.
who. 2
What
E's.
are- Like Lort?
Lord. Yes.
Another one is from Erica, I presume. _T.
Urca.
And she says,
I think it's
or he.
Urca T.
Urca.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Urca _T says, where's the applause? Which she feels is very underrated. So
Yeah, I've never
Well,
heard
that's-
of
that's
that
their
book,
opinion.
so it probably is.
What was
I
it?
agree.
Where's the applause?
Where's the applause?
Oh, no, never heard of it.
Nope.
This is embarrassing. If Ayanna had heard of it, then it's probably not that great. Who else wants to read these?
Yep. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, sure.
Right there.
Yeah, $60 billion man says graphic novels and the Guinness Book of World Records that there's way too many great facts to pass up. I can agree with him on that one. I like skimming through the Guinness World Record book because there's like stuff in there that you never ever would have thought like, man, how many hot dogs can I eat in 30 seconds? Like I didn't really know about that. But I
Or
like
people
those.
with their weights.
Oh yeah, the weight one.
Oh yeah.
Like the heaviest
Yeah.
person
What?
in the world. Stuff
Oh,
like
heck
Or
that.
they're
no.
using body parts too that we typically wouldn't use to lift weights.
Like a
weights.
jaw or like your ears.
Yeah,
or
yeah,
stuff
Yeah.
Like that.
yeah.
Or like the
I
toenail
think
of your big toe?
It's the jaws of life, if you get my drift, that they use. So
I don't.
squeeze to train, I guess, something like that. Kayla and Gabriel's mommy says J.D. Robb. Even though it's fictitious, I love murder mysteries, so that's a great read for me. I like little murder mystery, maybe Sherlock Holmes. And what was it? Nancy Drew, Hardy Boys, something like that.
I don't know.
Am I
I don't
aging
read
myself?
any books. Yes, you're aging yourself pretty bad. So,
Murder mysteries are always pretty good. They're always fun to
Yeah,
read at
they
night.
are.
Yeah, they're always fun
So
to
how do you
listen
think
to,
about-
actually, on audiobook.
Yes.
They're a lot of fun to listen to because there are some out there that on audiobook where you'll the characters come in. Like, it's not just the narrator. It's like whenever it's the
Caricatures.
caricature. Yeah, whenever the caricatures come in, they'll come through with their own voices. So it's like a cast and crew, as the recording. It's not just the narrator. So that's pretty cool to me.
how do you say this next one? Saul Jaime, Saul Jamie, Saul
I think it's
Saul.
Saul
I think
Jamie.
it's Saul Jimmy.
Yeah.
Saul
Oh, it just
Jimmy.
it's Saul Jamie
I don't
Saul
even-
Jimmy.
and I think it's Cuatro
4190.
Uno Nueve Zeta.
So Saul Jamie _4190 4190 says the
Cuatro
hatchet.
Uno Noventa. I see. Okay. Ooh.
Hey, here, this is your nephew. What do you say? You gotta say
8675309.
How do you?
no picante. Come on, man.
Oh,
you missed your cue.
that's super
What?
picante.
Picante. Yeah.
That was super vague. I don't know what you're
All
talking.
right. All right. So they said the hatchet because it's the only book I've ever completely read.
Dude,
Nice.
the Hatchet. I read that back in like 6th grade.
That's
So,
probably
like,
why
a
it's
really
the
old
only one they
book.
read.
I'm
It's
assuming a
basically,
hatchet.
yeah, it's about this hatchet.
Does it talk?
I'm just kidding. No, it's about this kid that crashes in a plane, and he only has a hatchet, so he has to survive there, like alone on the island, or wherever he crashed.
I thought it was
think
about. I thought it was about that hash slinging, stash slinging slasher. No.
That one's a good story too.
Oh, okay.
I enjoy that one. That one's a lot more scary.
Slasher.
Yeah,
Hash brown
That's,
slinging.
that's a good read.
that is a good one.
It's really scary though. I wouldn't recommend for young children or families.
Yeah, I would not recommend for anyone to read it. Really.
Have you read it, Ayanna?
No, I haven't. I'm
The
gonna have to
the
check
hash
it out
slinging,
now.
stash slinging slasher. You never read that?
No, you said it was called the Hatchet.
The hash
right?
brown slash slinging.
Oh, the hatchet.
Yeah, the hatchet.
Now, if it's about hash browns, I'm all for it.
Yeah. And then
I'll
Edwin
have to check
Brambilla.
it
Hold on, let me read that one. Edwin _Brambilla_ says unordinary because it's a great story and in-depth caricatures.
So I
that's
can
always
kind of
fun.
see where people like reads like that, where it's like there's a
Really
better
draw you in?
background. Yeah, like real like deep volume on the characters. Because sometimes you can have reads where like the people come up and it seems like an interesting character, but then the author doesn't really go in depth into them and like a backstory or anything about them. But you're just like, I want to know more about this person because it's like they might have an important piece of the book, but yet there's nothing really on them. So I can see where Unordinary might be a good read for that.
Okay. I'm
That's
gonna
okay,
leave
you
this.
wanna read the last one?
I want Cisco to read this last one.
What,
Okay.
August 11?
Oh, I was just gonna spell it out.
Oh man. No, you gotta pronounce it.
It's Nalgas
Oh.
11.
Now
Not a guess.
11. They say Phantom of the
Do it
Opera.
one more time.
No, thank you. I'm okay. I don't want to bring shame upon anyone's name.
You want to bring shame upon your family? And Anna?
Okay, Mulan.
Phantom of the Opera. I've never read the book. I've read the play. I guess you can say it's the play.
Yeah.
I've seen the movie. I still have not gone to actually see the play. It's funny. My parents bought me that the audio track, like the actual Broadway audio track, when I was a kid, and I would listen to it all the time. Listen to it. And then when it came out on video, that was the first time that I actually got to see, besides like the actual live action, because I don't know, I forgot where it was at. It was streaming, but the actual play, the Broadway play, was on there too. So I saw that on TV, but I still have not seen Phantom of the Opera. I was supposed to go in 2018, but stuff happened and we weren't able to go. So we were supposed to go over to the Orpheum, I think in San Francisco. That's a really good theater. Have you guys ever been there?
No.
No.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, Ayanna, you've been there?
Yes.
Yeah, it's
You
pretty.
have to see it live if you get a chance.
Yeah, it's pretty. From what I hear, it's like like the part for those of you who have seen or read the book, whichever. But like the part where the Phantom is taking the girl down the river, like through the catacombs or whatever. The way that they do it
Yeah.
on stage looks like it's an actual river. Looks like it's like they're moving through water, stuff like that. So I think that's pretty cool. But
That's pretty
I'm a
cool.
personal fan of Phantom of the Opera, so I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to
cool.
see it live. That's like my goal too, to go see it live. I mean, my goal was to go to the Broadway in New York to see it, but I mean, I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. So, I mean, if we can, shoot, let's go see it in, you said San Francisco, right?
Yeah, because and it's really cool. It's they don't say that it's a black tie event, but for the most part, everybody goes black tie. Like
That's cool.
very dressed up and fancy because obviously, if you know Phantom of the Opera, you know it's staged in the opera house. So when people go, like they deck out, like they're all for
That's
it.
what's up. That's cool.
Do you guys have any
I'm down.
favorite books?
Me, I do. I have well, one of them's Whale Talk. Whale Talk, and that one is about a kid
Dory?
who's
It's about Dory.
no.
Dory's not a whale.
No, but she speaks whale.
It's up to you.
Sorry, I had to.
Well, it's about a kid. He's like an odd kid out. His family has some troubles. He's with his dad. His dad's a single dad, and the way that they portray his dad is actually really cool. Like we've had a couple episodes on fatherhood and manhood, and actually he's the complete opposite of what like a lot of anime characters have portrayed. Like oh, just be strong, be strong. He was portrayed as like a big dude, like biker type guy, but definitely a softie and one who corrects with not just being stern, but corrects with feeling and empathy and sympathy for what his kid is going through. But he's on a swim team, and come to find out that swim team really changed his perspective on life. And within the book, it goes through his entire course of high school. But it's a really good read. And then there's one called The American Dream by Studs Terkel. It's literally a book compiled on interviews from like 1960 all the way up until 2008, I think 2008 or 2005, something like that. But the author, what he did is and there's like famous people in there, like before they were even famous, like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Before he even, like right when he landed, when he was still a bodybuilder, he was interviewed. There were a bunch of celebrities that started in their career as like a bus boy. No one ever knew that they were going to make it, but they actually were just interviewed random on the spot. And it's like wherever he went, he would interview random people. And the question was, what is your take on the American dream? And it's very fascinating to see how the American dream shifted in people's opinions from the 80s, the 90s into the new era, into the millennium. So you kind of get to see people's point of view on what their version of the American dream is versus everybody else's. And at the end, he kind of goes into his concept of what the American dream is. And I'll tell you what, you're really blown away by many people's perspective, and you'll actually, because what you think people's perspective is and what they believe the American dream would be is completely opposite. And it kind of gives you your own perspective on what your goal should be. If you are a goal-driven person, it gives you perspective. It's really cool.
What was the name of that again? It sounds good.
It's called The American Dream by Studs Terkel.
Okay.
Sounds like a fake name.
My favorite book so far has probably been Captain Underpants.
Dude,
Dude,
I love
that
that
one was
book. Believe it or
really
not, I
inspiring.
love that book. That entire
Never seen it.
series.
Yeah.
Actually, I
And
never
I
read a
Never
book.
read it.
In
You never
elementary
read
school, I
it?
read like
I
read
that
like the
Cisco?
first
Wimpy Kid.
Go ahead, Cisco.
I read like the first 11 or 12 in elementary school. I used to
11
be
or
like a big
12,
reader when I
jeez.
was They made a lot more, I think, but I don't know.
You haven't
I haven't
kept
read
up
them
with
since.
lore?
I have
like
to,
Goosebumps.
because they're really inspiring books. Oh, that one's good too.
You know, do you guys remember the Goosebumps books where it was like interactive? Like, you'd be like, you read up to page 12, and then it'd be like, if you want to walk through the door, turn to page 58. If you want to continue back or go back, turn to page 65. Do you guys remember those books?
Are those the ones that they sell in the book fair when the schools had the book fair?
God, you guys. So
I don't-
there were interactive books where, and it wasn't just Goosebumps. Like, there were a lot of books like this. You'd read up to like a certain page, and then it would tell you, do you want to, like, one of them was, do you want to face the dragon? If you face the dragon, then go ahead and turn to page 45. If you want to avoid the dragon and run through the cave, then go to page 56. And so
Are you talking about
can-
Dungeons and Dragons?
No. It was just it's just an example, but there was just like, there's books like that, and Goosebumps. There were a lot of books from Goosebumps that were interactive like that.
It wasn't Goosebumps for me. Back in my day, it was called Choose Your Own Adventure.
Oh my gosh, Choose Your Own Adventure. I don't remember that because I'm not old.
I know where you live.
Out there.
What
But
was
it was
your?
the same one.
It's the same concept, right? The Choose Your Adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I think even Hardy Boys and Nancy Drew even came out with a couple of those ones too, because they were getting popular, and you already know the writers of those series don't ever want to quit. They just came out with a show of Hardy Boys too, so
Oh, really?
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So-
So to move forward with that one, same idea. For the Fatties responses, we're looking for favorite drinks. Loving Destiny says water because I don't care for anything else.
Sorry.
So moving on, quite a few responses for Dr. Pepper as a good soda. That's exciting. Dr. Pepper, am I right?
Dude,
PhD? PhD not?
I love the diet PhD pepper. I really like that one. It's
I feel like
really
they all
like
taste the same.
so the diet Dr. Pepper actually tastes like regular Dr. Pepper to me. And a lot of people who don't drink diet, when they drink diet Dr. Pepper, for a lot of people say that it tastes just like Dr. Pepper.
Because there's so many flavors that you just lose the actual flavor of the soda. So you can't tell the difference between fake and real sugar. So of
Doctor-
course it would be good, you know?
PhD Pepper, dude, tastes like when you go up to the fountain, water fountain, what's it called? Soda fountain?
The
Got
bubbler.
it. When you walk up to the bubbler, you just start splashing all of them at the same time, and then just kind of like mix it up, and that's exactly what PhD Pepper.
Oh, making a suicide.
Yeah.
Oh yes, that was the proper term
I
for
usually do that like
suicide.
at the
Yep.
bridge, but yeah.
Dude, so Simone actually does that at drive-thrus, and it makes me so embarrassed because sometimes like the person, Simone will be like, "Yeah, can I get a suicide?" And the person's just like, "Excuse me?" She goes, "Yeah, suicide." And it's like, "Are you asking for a drink? Like, this is like, we only serve soda." And like they think that it's like a drink. And so Simone just goes, "Can you just mix all the drinks with no ice? Mix all of them in the thing." And they're always confused. They're just like, "So would you like us to mix coffee?" "No, I don't want you to mix coffee. Just put all the sodas in one cup." That's it. Dude, I'm telling you, the youth of America today, it's so
Outstanding
it's mind
phenomenals.
Dude, they are upstanding citizens. Ridiculous.
If they're
Have to
not
use a
citizens.
calculator to calculate how much change I need from a $5 bill for a $1.10 total.
I don't know if you're
Well,
joking.
not
but that
not
scares
everybody
me.
works.
No,
in-
I'm not joking.
in
That's
finances.
legit. That's
It's a real life
legit.
experience.
That's real life.
Cisco's still doing the math in his head.
Wait, 110. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay,
He's like,
next
yeah,
one.
He's not
$4.90.
kidding.
Right, John, you want to take the next one?
Are we on healthy weight beauty, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So healthy weight beauty says champagne, sangria or Long Island's because they're less harsh. Well, doesn't Long Island have like a little bit of a lot of stuff?
Yeah, like
So,
four,
I mean,
four
like-
liquors, right? Something like that.
Yeah. So is it less harsh the next day than wine,
I
or
don't
is
know.
it?
I think
it's
she
less
just
harsh going down.
She has her throat accustomed to it. So.
Maybe. But hey, I can't. I like Long Island's.
I don't know if I've had a Long Island.
Really?
You could do it, and if you don't like the bubbly from the soda, you can get a Long Beach, and then instead of the little splash of soda, they'll put a little splash of cranberry juice on top. Even though your drink comes out looking pink, but hey,
Dude, if you
Let me
don't
ask
want a
the
Long
professionals.
Beach, you can get a Crip. If you don't want a Crip, you can get a Blood. It's sick.
boom. Night night.
I don't know if you're joking. Ayanna, how do you make your Long Island?
I like it with all the alcohol and then the Coke.
The Coke.
So yeah,
Just a
I
splash
prefer.
though,
I like
right?
about 4 ounces because it's
Yeah.
like they're usually like an ounce each of
Oh,
the
okay.
alcohol. So
Do you usually
and it's
make
just
do you usually
nice.
make make it in a 12-ounce cup?
Yeah.
Or in like a little one like this.
No,
Like a little
no,
it's a
no.
shot. It's a shooter.
Like,
Yeah.
don't bother. Don't bother. No, that one's just with all the alcohol. It's like it's about 4 or 5 ounces of alcohol.
Size matters. I see.
hmm
Okay.
So
And just
the
Wait,
bigger the cup, the
what
better.
alcohol do you use?
It's rum, I believe. It's vodka, uh, tequila, I think. Not whiskey, or it
Not
might be
whiskey.
whiskey. It's like 4 different alcohols: too light and too dark, I believe.
It
How
might
do
be.
you make it, John?
I like
I don't
Sailor
know.
Jerry.
I had to Google it because I don't really make them. I just buy them.
I don't want to buy
All
it.
right.
Dang, super. He's like, I'm about convenience, bro. If it's already made for me, I'm gonna
Yeah.
buy it. Have you guys
Can
had?
we
Speaking
DoorDash
of
that?
rum,
Is that legal now?
yeah, you can
It
do it
probably is.
from Door or Instacart. Instacart.
Some
Yeah.
places
Give
will.
me 14 seconds.
Okay, so Long Island iced tea. And where's the alcohol here? It has an ounce of vodka, an ounce of gin, an ounce of white rum, and 1 ounce of white tequila, half ounce of triple sec,
All right.
and then lemon juice, and then half a cup of cola, or just a taste with 2 lemon
Go ahead.
wedges.
You send that over to me. Yeah, send me that link.
Okay,
Dude,
I'll write
speaking
down.
of
Thank you.
rum, I really like Sailor
Love you.
Jerry's rum. Have you guys ever had that?
Mm.
Yeah, no, I like that one because it's actually for me it's really smooth. I like mixing Sailor Jerry with some orange juice or pineapple juice. So good, so
Never
so
had that.
good. It's spiced. It's a spice rum. You can definitely taste the spice, but it's really good. I just got a special
And
edition
add
from
coconut
Walmart.
to it.
Oh yeah, coconut.
A coconut
You know what's
rum
really
with
good?
your spice rum.
Yeah, that Malibu with the coconut Malibu.
Yeah,
That with lemonade is fantastic, honestly.
it's a creeper. Well, I
Yeah.
like pineapple juice better than lemonade.
Yeah, that's a pretty good mix too.
Yeah.
Because
Well-
I had it with lemonade. I was eating wings, and I just had lemonade there, and then I mixed it. 'cause
You're just like, I'm gonna
Just
take a
why
chance. Take
No,
a
dude,
shot in the
Malibu.
dark.
Hey, Malibu with fruit punch. It's actually really good.
I believe
I
that.
had it. Yeah, I had it with my friend Faya. I call her Faya. It's just a nickname that we have, but she's the one who introduced me to Malibu with fruit punch. Really good. So shout out to Faya. I don't think she listens to us, but whatever.
What about
She doesn't
like
listen
the
to us?
fruit punch?
No, she
Like
does.
Disgrace.
the water enhancers. I did that recently. I did the fruit punch water enhancer with some Malibu. Dude, it's super good.
GGs.
Yeah. So
Did
even
it
though
taste chemically?
no, it tasted really good because I did it both ways. The first cup I did water with the mix and I put Malibu in, and then the second time I just did Malibu and the water enhancer, and yeah, I mean either way both of them tasted good to me, so I didn't I didn't really care about it,
Nice.
but it was good.
All right, moving on with Ace.
I thought it was
He says
rum,
Coke because I think that's 2 M's, isn't it?
Yeah,
but we're talking rum.
Anyways, he says Coke because it feels more acidic. I personally love Coke.
Yeah. If
Zero.
you want acid, just
By Joshua? Who
just
said
eat
that?
Coke.
Yeah,
Joshua?
by Joshua. He said that he personally loves Coke Zero.
Joshua. Disgusting. I don't know why that person would ever comment.
I don't know, but it's JEWSHUA. Joshua.
Chase Hoffman, quote, Red Bull, nothing compares.
Nothing compares, dude. That's like
know what
that's
actually
like a
compares?
title, like a commercial title.
Yeah. Right?
We should use
I do
this
like
as
Red Bull.
advertising. Please sponsor us, Red Bull.
Yeah.
bro. Dude.
Thank
I
you.
like this
actually,
response from what?
Okay, go ahead.
Oh no, I like this response from Lee Oscar 432. He says beer because it's kind of like adult soda.
It is adult soda. It's adult bubbly.
I like it. I like it hardcore.
Yeah. I don't know. Some wise person said an old fashioned because it's got bitter sugar whiskey, orange slice, and sometimes a cherry. And the favorite whiskey for that one is Buffalo Trace.
Machino cherries.
That No, not the Maraschino. There's actually cocktail cherries. They're different. Those
Oh,
ones,
I see.
the Maraschino ones go on like on a sundae or a banana split or something.
Dude,
They're not
cherries
for
is
cocktails.
Cherries.
No,
Cherries.
negative. But that
What
was
if
from
you not? You can't use it. Does it taste disgusting?
you can, but it's just too sweet. The maraschino cherry, I can't even say that right. They're just too sweet and they don't complement the drink that you're making. For example, it won't complement an old fashioned. It just makes it too syrupy.
Yeah.
It's a darker cherry, and
Yeah.
it complements the alcohol better.
Mm-hmm.
But why
Yeah.
would you wanna? Why would you want a cherry though in an old fashioned?
It's
It
just the way it is. It,
Really?
it Go ahead. Go
it
ahead.
enhances the flavor.
This
I
is the
don't
way.
like cherries personally. Like I hate them in Shirley Temples. I'll dump them.
Mhm.
But something about that old fashioned and the cherry that they use for it, it's good.
Dang, your
And
eyes
you
just
can
rolled
get
back.
you a-
Like it must be that good.
It's good. I'll have to
It
make
i-
one for you.
It is good. I mean,
Make
I don't
it,
know.
put it in a container, and then go to UPS and ship it this way.
And live
You
on
do
the
that?
question.
Yeah,
Oh,
live
yeah.
live out the contents. No, you know they ship. You know they ship alcohol.
Do they?
Yeah.
Well,
Oh no
bottles,
no.
sealed bottles,
Sorry,
maybe.
no, I'm wrong. It's Postal Connections. Postal Connections will ship, which is funny because they use UPS, FedEx, like they use those shippers, and then they come and pick it up. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense. But yeah, so Postal Connections.
Well, it
are
makes
like,
them dollars. So. It makes them dollars.
Oh yeah, exactly. So, anyhow.
So the next one is Surfer on Acid.
do you make that?
Jaeger Malibu pineapple juice. Chone.
Amazing. Have you guys ever had it? That's like my
No.
one of my go-tos,
Disgusting.
man. No,
It's
you know what?
disgusting.
Everybody says that
Bro, it's
Jaeger, they're like, "Bleh," but no. Okay, when you mix it all together like your Dr. Pepper, it creates a different flavor. Okay, it just it's delicious.
Oh,
Everybody
no,
try it.
bro.
Okay,
PhD
It-
pepper, by the way.
That's
Yes.
just like putting Malibu and pineapple juice and then like putting a loogie in the drink. Like that's exactly what that
Ugh.
reminds me of. Like
well, you might as well have a whiskey sour. It's basic. A loogie is basically egg white, so just do it, right? People still drink it.
that's
I don't know. Try it. Jaeger Malibu pineapple juice. You want to try it, Cisco?
Yeah, I'll try it. Send over
Thank
the
you. Thank you. See,
instructions
someone wants to
how
try
to
it.
make it. I'll try.
It's right there.
I'll do an Instagram live of me trying it.
there you
Sounds
go.
good.
And then Sean will do an Instagram live from his prison cell.
Who has the
Dude,
fave
what do you mean?
whiskeys? Whose favorite whiskeys are those?
Those are mine. My favorite whiskeys.
They're all yours.
Yeah, so I'll talk about the
Alcoholic.
first one. Aberlour 12. I have it right here. Look at the YouTube video, guys. Aberlour 12 was
Aberlour
my first
12.
one. Yeah, that was the first one that I was introduced to by a friend from Scotland. And actually, recently in Texas, I had High West Campfire, which was good. Those are my favorite whiskeys. I'm just going off of my list. You know, gin, Centauri products are really good. And my favorite rum, thanks to Elijah, is Bamboo. Good stuff. You guys got. It's a spiced rum. It's really good. I mean, if you like, it has like a taste of banana, but it kind of fades down. It's just
Where do you
really
get it?
good. You have to. You can get it at Bevmo. You can probably get it at Rayleigh's. There was a store in Texas that I got it from. I think it was a Specs. I think I got it at Specs in Texas.
You know what?
it out.
For gin, I like Monkey 47. That's my favorite. Like that's my all-time favorite go-to. And tin cup whiskey. Both of those have to be served neat. I like drinking those neat. But for whiskey, I've been wanting to try Basil Hayden. Yeah, I've always heard about it. I've always heard like sophisticated people drinking it. And it's only like $50 over at Rayleigh's. It's probably cheaper at like Bevmo or Total Wine, but I mean,
I don't know. Bevmo's expensive.
You think?
I do have to give you a
Yeah.
shout out for that Monkey 47 though, because there's a Total Wine near here. By the way, that's where you get it.
Yes.
And dude, that stuff was really good.
It's
was really
good, isn't it? Like it's
Yeah,
like
no, it was
water.
very smooth. Yeah, basically, it's really, really good.
Yeah.
I drink it neat, just like Josh showed me. And it's honestly super good. It's really not too expensive either. I don't remember how much it was, like $30 or something.
Yeah, for like the liter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? You know what I want to do? I want to do a Monkey 47 and the Centauri gin because the Centauri is like a Japanese gin,
Mhm.
and it was. I've had the Monkey 47. It's super smooth. They're probably like hand in
right on
hand. They're
there?
really, yeah. They're probably. I kind of want to do them side by side now, just because I mean I'm a fan of both.
Because I
that'd be
think
fun to do.
Centauri is made a little different because Monkey 47 is more botanical.
Yeah.
Like it's made with like what kind of wood was it? There's notes of some type of wood, but it comes from like the German Black Forest. It's actually
Is it wormwood?
Wood chips.
No, I don't think so.
Free wood.
No.
Redwood.
Now I want to check it out. It might be cherry wood.
Cherry. I would just say wormwood because
No,
that's what's
birch.
in
It's birch.
absinthe. Birch.
That makes sense. Is very birch is very earthy. And it burns well. I don't know if you guys knew that. Cherry and birch
Okay.
both burn. Oak.
I didn't
really-
know if that was I didn't know if that was a joke about the tree being earthy.
It's
but
not. It's really not actually.
It's not
So,
okay.
I learned a
The
lot
sense
about
of it.
trees. When you burn, super random. Cherry, oak, and birch burn really well throughout the night. So if you have a campfire, grab those if you can. It's pretty good stuff.
Oh,
They smell
You
good.
dang.
just want to start a fire.
No wonder.
Mhm.
So
Arson.
I actually just looked it up. Some of the ingredients in Monkey 47. Dude, lingonberries. They have lingonberries in that gin. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if you
Lincolnberry.
guys. Yeah. Have you guys
I don't
had
even know what that is.
No?
No.
Well, it's a berry. It comes from the lingon tree. And it's
Okay.
actually it's pretty good.
Aw.
It's pretty good. But there's like I'm looking at the recipe right now and dude, it's pretty cool. But all the ingredients come from the Black Forest in Germany. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, I thought it was cool. We'll have to do that though,
A
side by
good
side.
gin is St. George. Have
St.
you tried
George?
that one? Yeah, they
I never
use
tried that.
Chardonnay grapes.
Yes. Isn't St.
Not a
George the
typical-
make? Don't
Yeah,
they?
that's
Isn't that the
the-
maker?
Yes.
Yeah, because they make
Yeah.
absinthe as well, and I've had some from them, and
Do you like
I've
that?
never had absinthe in my life.
it's very like it tastes like dark licorice. It's very strong. When I first
What
had
about-
it,
is
I
that-
took it.
If it tastes like dark licorice, how come they call it the Green Fairy?
No, because it
Because-
makes you
because-
see green fairies. If you
Yeah.
drink, if you drink too much, it'll make you hallucinate. I had
Really?
a cup and I drank it neat, and my tongue went numb.
It also depends. It also depends where you get it because when I went to
He's
to
like the
Europe,
black
I wanted
market.
to try I wanted to try the absinthe, right? And there's some place, and it all depends on the hallucinogenic thing they say is the wormwood. That's why I mentioned wormwood as a joke. But
Oh,
nobody got
I
it.
see.
Yeah. So American absinthe that they sell here in the States or they make in the States has a very little bit of wormwood. The ones that they have in the UK, they don't regulate it as much, and it has a lot of wormwood. And that's what is if you have too much of it, they say it makes you like hallucinate. But it is very strong because I had a little bit of it. Oh man, you have a glass and that's it. You don't want anything else. And they mix it. It's only like if you get like the right stuff, they actually do droplets over sugar cubes, and then it goes through the sugar cube into your drink, and then from there they mix the other. So you're only getting drops of it into your drink.
Yeah, and
Oh,
you have
okay.
a spoon. It's a special
Yeah,
spoon.
a
that's
special
slotted
spoon. Yep. Yeah.
that you put the
It-
sugar cube on.
Yeah, it's a really cool process to like Google it and look it up how the proper way they make the drink with it. But it's pretty cool, and it is very good and strong.
I didn't know
But
that. I
that-
just had it straight.
Speaking of tin cup, I'm gonna go ahead and.
While he
gonna
does
pour-
that,
Let's pour our drinks,
I'm gonna
guys.
go ahead and just
Ayanna,
juicy
please.
juice it. Juicy juice time.
Oh yeah. My
is this?
favorite drink.
Oh,
I'm not sure if you guys have heard of it, but
No.
Hold on one second.
I'm
Have
gonna
you
go
guys
and
heard
tap
of
it 'cause
it's
I'm
very
fancy.
sophisticated. It's kind of expensive too. You can't really
Really?
find it a lot of places, but it's called Juicy Juice. I just want to know if you guys have heard of it.
What year is it?
Never.
1806.
is it aged?
It's
Like
aged
that's
very
Dude,
super
well.
that's
aged, man.
premium age, bro. That's
Yeah,
like.
dude.
mm.
Great age.
Dude, just the whiff of it is
Did
gonna
you say
get you
grade
toasted.
aged or grade
Grade
aged?
aged.
What?
Greatly.
Oh, greatly
Okay.
aged.
Since you guys are opening yours, I'm gonna pour myself a glass.
Alrighty, Yana, onto your
Nice.
Instagram account. So your IG, a plug real quick, it's Books, Booze, Reviews. What made you create an IG like that?
I like talking about books. I love books. Anyone's ever discusses it or anything like that, I'm all over it. And I didn't really have a lot of people in my family to talk about books with. Okay, everyone's doing that, so I'm gonna do mine now too. So I was talking to my husband about it, and he actually suggested I do a blog, but I didn't really want to do that. And then I didn't want to commit to writing something out. So my daughter actually suggested setting up an Instagram account, and I didn't really think anything of it. And then she created my little logo, and then I started last year and been doing it ever since and loving it.
The pictures that you post on
Nice.
there look pretty. They look pretty cool, like almost professionally done. Do you do those yourself?
I do.
You're
actually taking
kidding. You do those
photography.
yourself, really?
Yeah,
Dude, you can get
yeah.
into product photography. Like
Thank
your
you,
pictures look
Joshua.
super good. If I was gonna ask you who does your photography, because the stuff you post on there, like, it's funny, that one book that you talked about, that Asian girl or whatever, the China slave runaway, or who was it?
The girl who
Did you
wrote
just
in
say
silk.
China slave runaway?
Yeah, something like that, or like the sorry, the tin cup's getting to me. It's the one with the Chinese railroad girl, right?
Is
Yeah,
it the girl
well,
who wrote in silk?
it's
Is that
the
the one?
girl.
No.
Yes, thank you.
Oh,
It
is it
wasn't
the
a
one?
Chinese. She wasn't a runaway. She was basically displaced,
Oh, she was
because
displaced. Okay.
white people didn't want Chinese people back in that time. So they actually
Mm-hmm.
passed a law to kick Chinese people out of the United States
Oh, I
in
see.
1887. So
Make
it
America
was her
great again.
story. I love how you said runaway.
These are really good photos.
See,
Thank
that's what I'm
you.
saying. Like, but when
Yeah.
you did post that one, I was like, oh dang! Like, I thought it was really cute that you did like the Asian
this-
accent on it.
this
Is
one?
that the one? Let me see.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Look at that.
See
All
right
like
here?
like the teapot and stuff. I was like, dang!
Yeah.
The
Whoever
Asian
is
thing.
doing this is super creative. So kudos to you.
Thank you.
Very
I never
nice.
understood the use of the word kudos. I'll be honest.
He
It's
just threw it in there because
KUTO.
it sounded right.
Yeah, exactly.
It felt like it was
I
okay.
felt like it was right.
That should be
What
a
you felt.
topic for your next podcast. Is different
What is
sayings
kudos?
that, well, just different sayings that are odd.
We'll
that
see
you
if
don't
Enrique
get.
will do a special guest appearance.
There you go. We'll do that. I actually have one in mind, but I'll wait until
I'm still
until
like
later.
these pictures, man. Like they're good.
Scroll down. Actually, there's one
I'm
I really
so
liked. It was
excited
on top
for
of a
him
map.
pictures.
A map.
Yeah,
see.
you'll see it
Oh,
right
that
now.
was American Spy.
Dang,
Mhm.
she even knows. She's like right off
No,
the cuff.
no, it's fun to do because it's like when I'm reading the books, I'm picturing certain things, and so I have like a prop box that I
Mhm.
gather stuff or people give me stuff, and so as I'm reading the books, I think about it, and then I just pick certain elements from the story that are on that,
Oh, yep,
Yeah,
American
and that's
Spy.
some good
it was
stuff.
laid out really,
That
really
was all
nice.
you, Ayanna?
Yeah,
If you're looking on the YouTube, Neff, can you put that up again on the YouTube? I'm stupid.
Yeah.
Old.
Let me see.
Let me see.
How old are
Yeah,
you?
dude, that's Ayanna. That's good,
Oh.
man.
That's really nice.
That's
you.
really
Yeah, that is
nice. God, if it was me, I would
Yeah.
just throw a bunch of crap on the table and then throw the book right there. It would look sideways, probably turned upside down. Just like, here you
It's
go,
art,
figure it
dude.
out.
Yeah.
Look at
It's a
backwards.
mystery, and so is my page.
No, I get input. Like Kaylee will give me input. Layla will give me YouTube. That's another good one.
That's a good one too.
And that's a bee's knees cocktail.
Wait, why am I putting it up on the thing? Can't we just like
Screen,
take the
screen
picture
share it.
and
We
then
could probably
yeah,
screen share it,
this is embarrassing.
Probably.
but it's okay. It's fine.
Yeah.
We're not tech savvy here at
Anyways.
the Phat Chat.
No, definitely not.
So next question. Cisco, you want to take this one away?
I don't have it up, but give me a second. And I
Never
will
mind,
have it.
dude.
It's
What
okay.
captivates you and what inspires you? What drives you to read Libros?
A car.
Libras.
Well, I just want to escape from my life, and
That was really heavy.
I knew
It
that
was not
child was
prepared for
weighing you
that.
down.
Oh, that was deep.
no, I just like reading. It's educational. As far as just learning about different things in life, like the whole Chinese that Exclusion Act. Learning about different things in history. I was fascinated. It sounds crazy about Hitler. Like, how did he get so far? So I read The Rise and Fall of the Third Reich.
His life is actually very, very interesting. Like if
It really
people
is.
have not had a chance to actually, he's really a person of interest for study. Like because his methodology,
Yeah.
but besides like the whole genocide type stuff, he was actually a really
Yeah.
good person. No,
No, he was very
Quite the
charismatic.
gentleman. Very classy man.
He was he was convincing, he was charismatic,
yes,
and he was able to get as far as he did. And I wanted to know how he was able
because
to do it.
no one during that time had, like you said, he was charismatic. He knew what the people wanted to hear, but more so how they wanted to hear it. And I think that
Hmm.
was so interesting, and how he even rose to power because of it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. He studied people,
Hmm.
reminded me of Satan. Just the way, like, he knew how to read people. And I think a lot of people underestimated him. That's why it went as far as it did. But yeah, I found it fascinating. But basically, reading is, I learn a lot, and it gives me an opportunity to touch on so many different subjects and just what I do. I
Well,
like
that's
kind of
really
a
cool.
kind of a sidestep on that. People say they like to read, and when they're reading, they can see everything that's going on in their mind. They visualize it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've tried to do that. Does that something that really happens? Because for example, we did the whole ASMR segment, and we're you get the tingles and stuff. Never happened. But I'm like the same thing with the books. I try to read books so I can imagine it, visualize it, and I hear people talk about stuff, and they say it so vividly, they explain it so vividly, and they say it's like they see a picture in their mind, and they paint a picture, and I have never been able to do that. That's a So is that something that happens to you as well when you read,
It,
or?
yeah, I mean, especially in fiction type, you actually
Hmm.
picture the characters. Like certain books, I picture who I want to play that character if it ever comes into a book, but you do play it in your head. You see it in your mind. It's crazy. And it also has a lot to do with the author. There are people I read that, no, I don't get that because, like Joshua had mentioned earlier, their character development wasn't good. So I didn't get to know who the character was, to even get any kind of feeling of who they were as people. But yeah, definitely I see it in my head.
Maybe something's wrong with my mind. I don't know.
No, it's
Agree with
probably
Sean.
no.
I
To
don't
be
know why.
honest, dude, it's
Can't see
probably
it.
because you haven't read the right book.
I
Like,
agree.
that's how I felt in reading, like through school and like on the side. Like if it's a book that doesn't pop out to me like within the first like 2 3 chapters, then I'm not going to read it, just because of the way that it's written for me. Because
Yeah.
But
each book is different for
yeah,
each person.
seriously. It's
Yeah.
like art. It's, subjective. Everyone has different perspectives. What works for one person. Josh, that wasn't going down good.
That didn't.
He
I
said
breathed. I breathed in at the same time.
Ladies and gentlemen,
what
drink safely.
yeah. What works for one person doesn't necessarily work for another person. There's books that people like. I have a group of friends. We have like what's called a book club, but it's not your typical book club. Because I hate being told what to read, because what you may find interesting, I may not find. So what we typically do is we meet quarterly and we read books that interest us, and then we get together now through Zoom, but we discuss the books that we found interesting and basically make recommendations to the group as far as you should try this book, and this is why.
Because it's
Basically
literally
trying
like
to
watching
convince
a
them.
movie in your head. Like you're
Yeah.
Yeah.
you're watching a movie, and it's just like critics and their movies. Like if they see a movie they don't like it, like it wasn't for them, they'll
Hmm.
know in the first 10 minutes, if it's not going to
Hmm.
be for them. So kind of like the same principle.
Yeah, because
No.
I'm not a fan of fiction or nonfiction. I mean, not typically, but like some of the recommendations, like there is one book, The Gift of Fear, that I found someone recommended, and I would never have read it, but it was one of the more fascinating reads this year that I've read. Is just that sense that everyone gets when you're afraid. Um, it's your body telling you something that you may not necessarily see, and it's a gift. And it was showing scenarios of people who didn't act on those, that fear, and how it adversely affected them versus those who did. So it was just, you learn a lot and see different things.
Cool. Well,
See,
what about?
I'm
Oh,
actually a big advocate for reading. Oh, sorry. I just
no, it's
wanted to,
fine. It's fine. It's whatever.
because I'm more interested in nonfiction. I actually have never read a book in my life, but I'm a huge advocate for reading for that reason, because I think there's a lot of knowledge that is at hand, and I don't think it's good to be. I don't think it's good for people to cut themselves off of experience from learning from others or from reading or from movies or from whatever. I think just experience in general is really beneficial.
Mm-hmm.
But like that book sounds interesting, and I'll try. But it's like same like with Tron. Like I can't visualize it. I'm a visual learner, so like I don't see anything. I'm just reading and I fall asleep. It's just
Yeah.
like it doesn't capture me.
Mm-hmm.
Like you explaining it to me, that book, The Gift of Fear, sounds fantastic. Love it. Sounds great.
Yeah, sounds good.
Probably won't read it. Just
Well, I'm
I'll
a
probably
big
listen to it,
advocate.
or
Like,
I'll just
I
like
agree.
call you and you can explain it to me.
I think that some people don't think that listening to book is the same as reading, and to me, it is the same. So if you're able to listen to a book, to me, it's just as if you were opening it up. And I just think with you, Tone, is maybe you haven't found the right book. I
Mm-hmm.
firmly
Maybe.
believe that if you find the right book, I at work I used to get people would ask me what to read, and I would find out what their interests were, and I would find books that they would like. And
Well,
for the most part, I was successful. Not
well,
Yeah.
then
always.
I'm gonna have to message you. You can help me find out book so I can start reading. Because
Okay,
She's married,
even when I
bro.
do the
I will convert you.
you're gonna convert me to a reader. Even when I listen to audiobooks, sometimes I'll be listening, and my mind kind of wanders, and then when I think back, I'm like, what would I just listening to? I don't even remember because my mind
Yeah.
just kind of it. I'm listening, and then all of a sudden, I just start floating away into the distance, and it just becomes like background noise to me. So
Mm-hmm.
I think reading will probably be better for me than listening.
Yeah, and just so you know, it happens to me too. Like I'll be if I'm distracted or because I would listen to books sometimes if I was at work and it was
Mhm.
just something that didn't require a lot of brain power. I would listen to a book, but there would be times I'd have to go back because I didn't recall what
Yeah.
I just heard. It became that background noise. So I get where
Hmm.
you're coming from.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, what about your top 5 drinks? You know, we just went over some of our favorite drinks. But what about your top 5 drinks, whether it be neat, mixed, whichever? What are those and why?
Um, the Glenmorangie, I don't know if I'm saying it right. Glenmorangie, I've heard it. It's the one that was in that for the American Spy. I like that one. It's a single malt Scotch, and it's my IT person here. It's this one right here. This one is the 14 year. This one's really good. I don't like the scotches that are peaty, so this one's really smooth. So I really like that. Um, as far as mixed drinks, like this one here that I'm drinking, it's the Empress gin and sour. It's that the gin that has the butterfly pea flower. Oh, look at I have another person.
Oh,
You
it's
Nice.
a
have you?
purple. It's that purple one, right?
Yeah, it's the purple
Okay.
one. And
Interesting.
Has ground up butterflies?
Yeah.
no
Man,
Delicious.
butterfly pea
bottles
flower.
just keep appearing. That's amazing.
I know I have an assistant. No, that one's really, really good. And like Chon was saying, I can't. It depends on my mood. I'll do the sour with the egg white sometime if I'm feeling brave. But I had an experience, and if you do that, make sure you double strain
Mm.
because I have the egg yolk or the egg white slap
Ew.
me
Oh,
because it's nasty. That
Nice.
when your drink physically slaps you back.
yeah, it was like I was done. Dirty martinis are another one of my
Ooh, dirty
favorites.
martinis.
Yes. I like that because it's just the perfect blend. It has the alcohol and then that the brine, the saltiness.
Mm.
It's just the perfect balance with that. And then I like the ginger buck, but it's also known as the Moscow Mule with the ginger beer. That one is so good, especially like on a hot day. That one's dangerous because you can't really taste the alcohol, and it's so refreshing that you can just guzzle it. So if you do have that one, drink responsibly. And then I also like the whiskey Di Serono sour.
I
That
like
one's really,
Disaronno
really
and Dr.
good.
Pepper.
I've never had that. Is it too
Really?
sweet though?
No, not for me. It's actually
Okay.
it's a dangerous drink for a lot of people. But if you do it with ice, if you do it on the
Mhm.
rocks, it's it's perfect because I mean, you don't want to do it with a lot of ice, obviously, but if you just do like a couple nice big cubes, it waters it down enough to where it's not as sweet as people would think. So, I've done it. I only do it on the rocks. Whenever I do a mixed drink with soda, I always do it on the rocks. I can't do it neat or anything like that.
Okay.
But Disaronno and Dr. Pepper, that used to be my drink, like
I'll have to
back.
try that one
Yeah, no,
because I do
it's
like
really good.
Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
Okay. And then yeah, I like it because the Disaronno by itself, I've had the Disaronno sours, it's too sweet for me. But when I mix it with the rye whiskey, and I like Bullet rye whiskey, it's
Oh, I
really
have that
good.
one.
It's really good. And then my other drink is the rose lemon drop. That's when I'm feeling, very wanting to be ladylike. That one's a very nice
Hey,
drink.
I like lemon drops. What?
Have you had the rose? You have to try it with the rose.
Oh my
There,
God! No, I haven't.
you
No, I
have to.
haven't.
You have to try
So,
it.
so what? Oh my God! What is in the rose lemon drop?
Okay, well, let me tell you. You
Yes.
can do it a couple ways. I've made it myself where I
Uh
use.
huh.
If you get it from a quality place, like someone who hasn't sprayed, you can make your own simple syrup using the rose petals,
Yeah.
and that's easy. But there's this Drillite. Go get that. I don't know what it is. It's that first pink one you showed me. It's a liqueur. It's a
Uh
rose
huh.
liqueur, and I add 1 ounce of this one.
Huh. Okay. I have
And they
seen.
Drilao.
come
I've
in
seen that.
different
Yeah.
ones. Yeah, so this one, because it's hard to find the rose simple syrup, thank you. The rose simple syrup. So I will do that with an half or a quarter, 3/4 ounce of the simple syrup with your lemon drop, typical lemon drop, and it's delicious.
So I
I'm gonna have
actually,
to
Very
try
whenever I
that.
want to
delicious.
feel ladylike, I have three drinks that I like. It's
Yes.
the Bartenura. It's Moscato.
What's that?
Bartenura is a Moscato. It's in a blue bottle. It's finally sold at Walmart. It used to just be at like Bevmo, Total Wine, but now it's sold at Walmart too. It's in the Moscato section. La Fantasia,
Bartenuda.
huh?
No, I'm sorry. I just said the word again.
Oh yeah,
Go ahead.
it's La Bartenura. My cousin turned me on to it. It's actually pretty good. And then it was, what's the other one? La Fantasia. That one's from the castle up in Napa. I joined that one because that one's super good.
I
And
didn't like
then,
their wine.
huh?
I didn't like their
So
wine.
no, I don't like their wine either. I don't like the wine, but that Moscato that they've got, the La Fantasia one, that's like the one that I like the most, that me and Simone liked. So we got that
Mm-hmm.
one. And then I got this recipe off a bartender over at one of our functions, but I call it, you know how there's the tequila sunrise,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I call this the vodka sunset, because he didn't come up with a name with it. I came up with the name, and we're gonna keep it at that. So I stole his
bad boy.
recipe, but
Are you
I
like
branded
pumping
it.
your chest?
Yeah, I
He's like
branded
pumping the
it.
chest.
So like if you're ever listening to this, which I highly doubt you will, then you know I call it the vodka sunset now. So what I'll do is I'll put it's orange juice, the sour mix, lemon juice, or not lemon juice, orange juice, sour mix, uh, tangerine vodka, right? If they don't have tangerine vodka, then triple sec will do, um, and then grenadine. So it'll be those four things, and I'll just have that, and you top it off like that, and then it looks better than a tequila sunrise. So
It does look really good. I can say Josh has made it for me for a couple of times, and
dude, it's like that.
A1. It's
Those
so
are
good. It's
dangerous.
good.
Those are
Yes.
dangerous. And
Yeah.
you don't do ice. Like you make sure that everything's chilled, so that way, like when you make it, you can just drink. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah. And
Okay,
oh my
you
gosh,
need to
Josh,
take
it's so
pictures.
pretty.
Yeah, it is so pretty.
It's
I'm
so
telling you, it's
pretty.
so pretty. Don't get me started on how pretty it is.
It's kind of sus.
I'll have to try that one. Take a picture the next time
I
you get it so I
vented.
can see what it looks like.
Yes.
And then my last drink that is one of my favorite is the Derby Rose, I think it's called. And that one, it was the most, when I read the ingredients, I thought it was going to be disgusting, but I had like everything. But it's rosé wine chilled, and it called for gin, and it called for bourbon. And you mix that all together with a squeeze of lemon. It is so good together. So
See,
good.
it doesn't sound good, but it tastes good, just like the Surfer on Acid. So try it, guys. Try the
Surfer
Surfer
on
on Acid.
acid.
You know what? I'm
Yes.
gonna take your word for it, Sean. I'm gonna try that surfer on acid.
Dude,
And
No,
I'll have
try
some
it, for real.
acid. And then
The
I'll
color
And
of
if you don't
Surfer
like
on
it-
Acid looks like the eggs that I made on the griddle after we barbecued. They're black, greenish eggs.
Well, that's because you put half a bottle of Jaeger and an ounce of Malibu. What do you
No.
expect, man? If you don't
Is
make
it
it right, it's
Jaeger?
not gonna taste right. It's
But yeah, what are the
Jaeger,
proportions on that?
Jaeger, Malibu, pineapple juice. It's three
It's
even
finger
proportions.
scaled, bro. It's finger scaled. Don't worry about
Finger
ounces
scales. I'm
in
gonna
this
have to figure that
house.
one out.
It's
It
many.
is. It's three equal parts. Jaeger, and just splash a little bit more Malibu and pineapple juice than Jaeger, and it's great. I do equal ounces, equal portions, but I don't have a problem with Jaeger. I don't like it by itself, but all together it's good. And Neff,
I'm a new drinker, dude. I
if
don't
you
know.
don't like it, hey, and it's sweet too. So it's a good strong drink. It's sweet. Just be careful with it. But if you don't like it, next time I see you, I'll buy you a drink on me.
Nope. Sounds good.
So
So Surfer
yeah,
on acid.
yes, Surfer on Acid,
Okay, I'm gonna try it.
Appreciate
I
that.
like trying new things for sure. So
definitely.
keep them coming. But yeah, those are my
I'm gonna have to listen
top
to this
5.
podcast while I make it.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Or you can just call me.
That'll give
you
us extra views too.
know. Do an Instagram live.
Still
Neff
trying to get
tries
to that
make a
1500,
Surfer on
guys.
Acid.
You know what? We should do that. We should
We
try to do
should.
that.
We should do it live. Like a
Yeah,
group
write that down.
live.
So what are recommended great reads and cocktails?
Wait, what?
I'm reading the question.
Oh,
That was a question.
Yeah.
I'm
I
just
can
kidding.
talk
What
about
are
great
your
reads.
recommended great
I mean-
reads and cocktails? Did we
Okay.
already read that or what?
I think
No.
we did the cocktail, right? Already.
No. I think
Unless
he
you
means
want
like
me to name some more.
no. He means like all together. Like, what is your cocktail and book recommendation to read together? You know.
You match him.
Dude, I'm
Okay,
sorry.
okay.
Reading how it
I'm
was
with you
written.
now.
Whoever wrote it didn't do a good job. Sorry.
Okay.
Excuse us, Ayanna. We're having a little debacle behind the scenes. Well, not really behind the scenes because everyone's listening. But
Blooper.
no, yeah. So,
It's all good.
what's your pair?
Okay.
Cocktail and book together.
So this one is The Warmth of Other Suns by Isabel Wilkerson. I enjoy this. This is a nonfiction one. I don't know if you can see it or if it's backwards.
I see
But
it. It looks huge.
basically, it is huge, but my dad actually recommended it. So it's special to me.
Nice.
But it's basically from it covers about the Great Migration that a lot of Black people did from 1915 to 1970. People who were fleeing the South because of racial
South
Yeah.
Africa or
discrimination.
like southern states?
South,
Oh,
like
so
the
like
South, Texas.
oh. Okay, all right. Got
But
it.
I can see where you could.
Yeah, I thought you meant like the southern part of Africa.
I should have been clear on that.
Sorry.
No,
This is just for our listeners. Just trying to clarify things for them.
no, I get it. I just you do stuff and then you do it with such a straight face. Like I never know with you sometimes.
That was
But,
one of them.
Okay, because this one, my dad recommended it because he was one of the people who did that. So with this one, you definitely need a strong drink. So this one is one where I would definitely do a whiskey or scotch neat.
Because he did, right? He is from Texas, and he moved to California. What, back in the 40s?
No,
Oh.
the 60s.
50s. Sorry, bro. Sorry.
60s, boo.
I think you said 60.
You're about
Yeah.
20 years off, bro. I think Josh just fell.
I'll make sure I'll let.
No, dude. Hey,
No, but
I
my
I quoted him on this show, so I love him. Don't bring down my reputation.
No, yeah. So him and my grandfather, my mom's dad, were one of the ones who moved over. Agatha Christie, she's the queen of mystery. Even though it's like she wrote stuff in the 1920s, the way she writes the characters, I think I'm clever, or at least I like to think so. And I try to guess who the murderer is, and I'm always wrong with her books. And with this one, anything gin, because Jin, I always think of England, and a lot of these are set in England area. So for this one, anything with Jin is good. But if you want a modern take on it, The Silent Patient. He got his inspiration from Agatha Christie, Alex Michaelides. And it was a total, by the end of that book, I had to sit back and just kind of absorb it all because of the fact that he writes for TV. He writes like a lot of movies. And so he knew what he was doing. And when you figure out, or when you find out, because you never figure it out, who the murderer is, basically, you're blown away. You were not expecting it.
Huh. So it's like a movie with a twist ending, but you're reading.
Very.
That's
very.
Cool. Those are my favorite kind. I might like those.
Yeah,
Those are my favorite
and I
kind of
recommend,
movies.
yeah, listening to it because it's. I didn't read it; I listened to it, and the person who did the narration was very good.
Okay.
Sometimes that makes all the difference. To tell you the truth.
Yeah.
Like you can have a really boring book, but if you have someone narrating it really well and you have a good cast to it too, I mean, it makes all the difference. Sometimes it makes you not even want to read the book at all because you're just so stuck on the way the narrator did it.
Yeah, and there's people who narrate it in such a horrendous way that I have shut it down, especially guys who try to do female voices. They either sound
Show us again, Sean.
very off. But the other book is Mr. Darcy Takes a Wife.
Mr. Darcy
Guys.
Takes a Wife.
Sounded very excited
Yes.
about that one.
No, this one's really good because Pride and Prejudice is one of my favorite books, and this picks up. Do you guys know about Pride and Prejudice?
Yeah, does that
Jane
pick up
Austen?
after it's done?
Yes, and it makes Mr. Darcy like the man of all men. So, yeah,
Cisco,
I
read it.
recommend it.
I need to
Take notes, my friend.
Chon,
And
take
this
notes.
one, a good red wine. Good red wine.
Taking notes.
Good bottle.
Do you have a favorite red wine?
I like Francis Ford Coppola's Claret. It's one of
That's
my
I'm a
favorites.
fan of
bougie.
Apothic Red.
Apothic Red.
Apothic Red.
Mm-hmm.
That one's
delicious.
nice. But
Mm,
yeah,
Sounds like you
I
said
found
gross.
that one.
She cringed on that.
She basically
that
said
one.
gross.
No, I've had it. I do like Apothic Red. I do.
Would you ever have it
It's
again?
not my favorite. Yeah, if someone purchased, if someone brought it over for a meal,
If someone
definitely.
gifted
Would I
it
go
to me.
out
Okay, so
and would I go out and buy it? No, I would.
She said you have
what was
trash
your,
taste
what
in
was your favorite
wine.
one more time? She
What'd you
did.
say?
She really just
I'm
put me
sorry.
down. What was your? What did you say your favorite one was?
Francis Ford Coppola's or Coppola Winery Claret. It's very smooth.
Mm-hmm.
Or
I'll have to Google that one.
Noir.
Is it good with Philly cheesesteak sandwiches?
I don't eat those, but sure.
It's only one way to find out.
That's manual. Yeah. All right. So this one, I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but Outlander.
Oh,
You heard of it?
yeah.
Is it like a show?
Highly recommend it. It is the show. There is a show on it, but it was a book that came out in 1990 or 91, and this is the book. And it has everything. It has romance. It has war. It has action, thriller, mystery, and I like time travel.
You had
So
me
this
at
has-
romance.
Is it kind of like the Highlander?
You're
Like
married,
if
Josh.
you do this, Josh, for Simone, you act like Jamie in this book.
Yo, I'll just give her the
Start a
book.
war.
I'll just give her the
You'll
book
have
and be
another
like,
baby.
yeah, there you go. Be like, hey, read this. 10 months, come and see me.
No, you need to read it.
Oh, I need to.
You need to read it. And make sure you have that Highlander accent.
Oh, there you go.
Oh no.
And this is the final book, Making Faces by Amy Harmon. It's one of those books that I recommend to non-readers. I even got Kaylee. I got your mom to listen to it. I got my sister. So this one it's a book that I think anyone could love. It's about a girl who thinks she's ugly, who is in love with a guy who doesn't even see her, but it's all centered around September 11th and how that impacted their lives and them from high school all the way to up to adults. And it's one of those tearjerker kind of ones, but most people
Real
like
question,
it. I
though.
like it to the point.
Is she ugly or not?
No. Maybe, you know what? You know those kind of girls who start off ugly and then as they age.
Oh yeah, where
get
they
better?
don't peak in high school.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. She's one of those that got better with
So
age.
she's like fine wine, you'd say.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
I was one of those girls too.
There's a term that they use in the book called ugly girl syndrome. So she
Are
still
you sure?
had that ugly girl
Let me see the
syndrome.
title of that.
Is it
again?
like someone who's really nice?
The title
She is
is
very nice.
Twilight.
Making faces. Oh my gosh, no, it's not. You're Josh.
Josh, why are you sparkling?
Okay. Final question for you. Final question for you, Yana. ¿Dónde está la biblioteca?
What?
No habla español.
No, this is the final question. ¿Dónde está la biblioteca? It's fine. Never mind. It didn't land. Anyways, thank you for joining us, Ayanna. We really appreciate your
welcome.
wisdom,
Thanks for
your
having
insight,
me.
your
Yeah,
suggestions,
thank you, Ayanna.
everything.
Yeah.
Yes. It's been a
was
pleasure
fun.
having you on here. Thank you.
Thank you. You guys have a good night.
Thank you, you too.
Alrighty.
Have a good night. Thank you. Bye-bye. Moving on to the next topic. Does age matter? Now, the question was posted on our Instagram. However, our fatty responses were split on the polls 50-50. But most of the fatties who responded mainly thought of dating. Come on, guys. Think outside the box, people. Come on. Think. The
that all people
responses
wanna-
generally were... What was that, John?
No, I'm like it. People just want to date. Like Josh says all the time, this is not a dating podcast, guys.
not a
Like,
dating
what are you guys
podcast.
doing? This is not a dating podcast.
No.
It
But
could
his
have been
numbers,
like,
5-309.
Chon is still available, though.
8675309.
I am still available.
But anyways, Shades of Purple says younger ones can be mature and older ones can be immature. What matters is the caricature. And if they're And if they're consenting adults.
All right.
So Shades of Purple says that.
There you go.
That's her wisdom or his.
I could agree with that.
I like
Wait,
what
read it again.
It's Kathy says. What? Read what again?
No, I'm just reading it again. No, go ahead.
Oh, no, I like what It's Kathy says. Or It's Kathy says, no R. Kelly stuff. Just saying. I like it.
That's wisdom, I suppose.
That is wisdom.
Oh, speaking of wisdom, Miss Alcantar 18 says, quote, in brain development, age matters. That's different than dating. Hey, shout out Alcantar. Thank you for that one.
Who is
Sister.
that? I don't know who that is. Oh,
It's my sister. That's why I took it.
Does you want to take the next one?
Yeah, I could take the next one. So D Storm Journalist says, there's a typo right there.
Oh, typo.
Age gap is okay, but an age chasm is a different
What?
story.
Chasm.
Kazam.
You know what chasm
I think
is?
it's chasm.
Chisholm?
Yeah, I know what that is.
I
So-
thought it was Shazam.
It's a deep fissure in earth,
Something like that.
rock, or another surface.
So if it's super like out there in age difference,
Yeah.
I guess it's not okay.
Yeah, basically a profound difference between people, viewpoints, and feelings.
Dude, I don't know. Have you ever seen Something's Gotta Give?
So how far apart is too far?
I don't know. D-Storm, why are you giving us words that are so intellectual?
Yeah,
that we
dude,
have to
you
Google
know-
them.
Are you a reader?
I am not a reader, or else I would have known that word.
You know what?
But
That
yeah,
kind of
no,
goes
Jameson
into
D-Storm.
D-Storm.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
D-Storm.
probably is.
that kind of goes into what that Olivia __ says. If you're dating someone whose kids are closer to your age, she put that one emoji where it's like this, like, or whatever. But
Wait,
I
which
guess
one?
it's confirmed.
What? Do it again?
Huh, the one like this, like that.
Oh, like
Staring.
rolling the eyes?
Oh, I don't know, dude. It's something
The
with like
eyes emoji?
eyebrows raised.
Or is it the one that's looking up? Is the one with
No,
the blushing?
looking straight at you with the eyes like this and the eyebrows up, like.
Oh, surprise.
Is it the surprise
Oh,
emoji?
Yeah.
Surprise.
But I don't know. At least it confirmed she's not a gold digger, bro. So that's good.
Okay.
Mhm.
And then Simply Terra says, I'm confused by this one. 10 years or older?
I guess she's saying what her standard is. She's
Mhm.
saying she'll go 10 years older than her age.
There you go.
I thought you were saying like 10-year-olds or older.
What? No, man. No.
Not gonna lie,
No.
dude. I also understood it that way. I was
12.
like,
Really?
what?
Yeah.
I was super confused.
I was about
think-
to
I
say the
think-
12 joke, but I'm not going to say that because I'm not going to have FBI
What
knocking down my door.
What joke?
No.
Wait, what did
Yeah,
you say
no.
about
I
Barthelme?
think that just means I think she's just setting the standard. Her limit is 10 years older than she is. So
So wait, so can't Simply Terra, you might have to clarify on that
Yes.
one. Is
Send
it
us
you
a-
can't
send us
won't
a
go
DM.
further or only go further than 10 years?
I'm
Yeah.
guessing won't go further.
all right,
Yeah,
simple
could be
Terra
wrong.
underscore. We're calling you out. Send us that. Explain this to us, please.
We
Let
don't
us
read. We need clarification.
know. Yeah.
my this is my a game.
You have to read the underscores.
Might be my underscore
sorry.
A underscore game.
Underscore.
73.
73.
There you go. Says it depends on the hold on, I stroked out. Give me a second. Depends on the activity, winky face.
So if you're going to a bar, I think age does matter. Age does
Like
matter.
kickball.
If you're going to the park at like 2 a.m.,
Age does.
That's
So-
an
You're going to
important
7-Eleven.
circumstance.
don't want to get stopped by the
Mhm.
police.
Mm-hmm.
What about that
And
next
who wants
one?
to read the next ones?
Rawr.
Josh, you wanna-
Cool enough for school? Yeah, that's for sure. What about them kitties?
So what age do people feel like they're responsible? And what age do others feel acceptable to hold weighty responsibilities? I don't know.
I think it depends on the weighty responsibilities. To be honest,
Okay,
like
Cisco. What
it
would
could
you
apply-
consider a weighty responsibility?
literally like, maybe like a job or watching over siblings, things like that. I don't know.
Wait, shouldn't we answer the first question? What age do people feel like they're responsible? So at what age do people start to feel like, no, I'm an adult, 11 years old?
I think that's a matter
Well,
of perspective because it's like
yeah.
you have people who had to grow up fast
Mhm.
in life, where it's like, you know, some people have been doing adult things since they were 9, 10 years old, to either provide for their family, doing things to make sure that their family can get by, you know, stuff like that. Or even if it's just not even for their family, just for themselves, like they had to struggle, you know, their entire life. You know, so it just depends on that. But I don't know. I feel like a lot of people could possibly feel like they're responsible once they start having that feeling of self-worth, or like being important in their environment, like doing something for their environment that they're in.
That they impact it
Yeah,
directly.
that's a better word, that they impact their environment.
I think because with regards to what you're saying in regards to whether or not they are responsible, I think the thing that creates the difference in my question would be what age do people feel responsible? Because I feel like in the circumstances that you laid out, I don't know if people like that would feel responsible or have that self-consciousness. I think they just are responsible, and I think they're so focused on it.
Like they're just in
Making sure that
survival
they're-
mode, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking more of the mindset of people of just, you know, on an average, just a statistically average person, a young adult, at what age very commonly do they find themselves feeling responsible? I feel like around 12, 13 years old, they start to want to take more responsibility on. And I feel like they kind of have a big head and feel more responsible than they really are.
It's the
But
hormones.
that's my opinion.
It's
in
the
the sense of-
hormones.
I kind of think, yeah, they go through that, like you said, the hormonal changes and whatnot, and they're the little kids kind of turn big kids now, you know, when they use their pull-ups and whatnot, they want to start feeling like they can do more, you know. But I honestly think people start telling themselves that they have to be responsible once like they start graduating high school. Because
agree.
I hear a lot of people like, oh, you know, real life is going to start now after high school. I got to get my stuff together. I got to get a job. I have to do this and that. And they start really thinking about responsibilities, what they have to do. And I think maybe at that point is an average, a good place, a good life mark to say people will start feeling like they are responsible or they have to be responsible.
I agree with that. That makes sense.
Yeah. Now,
What was second question? What age do others feel acceptable to hold weighty responsibilities?
That's kind of a
So,
tough
or
question too, man.
Josh,
Huh?
what age would you give LJ a weighty responsibility, like letting him take your car
Oh,
if you
if
had a
that's
normal
Never.
if
car?
that's
When
specific,
he has a
Not
dude,
license.
I
your car.
started driving when I was 11. Like
Nice.
it was he wasn't my grandfather. He was my grandma's husband. But we were over, or I was over at his house. He was hungry, and he asked me. He goes, "Have you ever driven before?" And I've driven forklifts for my grandpa, at the shop. And mom, dad, if you're hearing this, this might be the first time you're hearing of it. But I would drive forklifts at his shop. So I told him, I was like, "Yeah, I've driven." And dude, he had this nice Cadillac, dude. It was like a cream colored Cadillac, or might have been like a cream yellow, but he was super nice. And he just tells me, he goes, "Here's the keys." I go, "To what? The Cadillac?" He goes, "Yeah, just take it. You know how to drive, right?" It's like, "Yeah, I know how to drive." So I got in the car. I got in the car, and dude, I drove across town. It was pretty cool. He let me drive back home. I don't know how I survived. If I was even driving really right, but I
make
got
it
us
till you
there and I
make
got
it.
us home. Yeah, that's it. And it was so funny because the time that we drove is usually when there's so much traffic, and there was no traffic at all. So like
Oh.
I was definitely being looked out for if you're one of those people who believe that. But I was definitely
The stars aligned.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
See, I don't know when it comes to that question, Neff, about driving. Like, when would you let LJ drive? I think about my nephews, right? My nephew's like 12. My nephews they're like from their 11 to about no 9 to about 13, right? I couldn't imagine any of them driving. But my dad was letting me drive a stick shift 1-ton truck with a trailer when I was like 10 years old. And I would be driving up and down the street, and that's how I learned how to drive stick shift, was in a 1-ton truck and going reversing and going forward with the trailer. And I think about it, and I'm like, why? How would my dad have so much like trust in me to let me drive that truck down half a mile street, even though it was a straightaway? You know, how would he trust me not to like turn and hit a car or anything? You know, when I'm turning the corner, nick a car with a trailer or anything like that. And I think about it, and I'm just like, that's interesting.
because he's your
But
son.
yeah, but that's what. Yeah, I guess. But I wouldn't
He's
see my
also-
I wouldn't see my sisters letting my nephews drive their car. You
But
know?
things were different like back, and I
Yeah,
know it's
things
funny
are
because
different now.
I think we're the
Yeah.
last real generation to actually do that, or like not us, like our parents. I think our
Yeah.
parents are like the last real generation to actually do that because, like even my parents, they were driving at a super young age before they had licenses, and it's not that it was okay, quote unquote, but everybody was doing it because jobs, people, younger kids had jobs back then too, so they had to get to work, they had to go do their side jobs, stuff like that. So I think it was just a different time, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully I
Because
don't get. Go ahead.
I started driving around the same age. I think I was like 9 years old when I started driving. But I grew up on a ranch, so like I was constantly driving tractors before that. I was, driving the cars. And I want to say I was about 11 when I took the car and I went up and down the road just to practice or something. I was doing something, but I've been driving since I was like 11 years old, like on the streets.
Greets.
Unless cops are
Streets, huh?
listening, and in that case, I've never driven illegally.
Yeah, no. Me neither. I started driving when I was 16, guys.
There you go.
After I got my license.
Yeah.
After I got
It
my
was
permit
legal
at
to do so.
15.
Hey,
Huh?
hopefully I don't get my dad in trouble. I don't think he's ever. I don't know if he ever told my mom that I was driving around the streets at 10 years old.
No, I got my legally. I got my permit at 15. I was actually.
How'd you do that? I thought it was 16.
Nah, it
You
was.
can get a 15.
Yeah, I
I
got
got
it
mine
at
too.
15. So I did my.
Oh.
So what I did is I did my behind the wheel certification. I got my permit. I took the test. I got my behind the wheel certification. I was able to get my my actual paper permit because I passed the test, but they told me that I had to get the behind the wheel certification to actually get like the official permit. So I got like a fake pay or like just the printout. And then at 16 I got my license. So
Nice.
I did
yeah.
it sort of similar to you. I did the written through the school at 15, and then I took like one of those driving teaching things because that way, like I don't know what the technicalities were, but it helped me serve as like as the drivers or behind the wheel or
Yeah,
something.
they told me
But
that
I
I
got my
needed
permit at
200.
15.
They told me I needed 200 hours after I passed my test. They said I needed
Yeah, I didn't do
200
that.
hours in order to get the official printout. Like I had like a certain time period that I needed to get that 200 hours, and then from there,
Mhm.
I could, after I did my 200 hours, as soon as I turned 16, I could take my test. So that's what I did. But I guess to
Yeah, I
go
didn't do
back.
that. I went like the next day.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Nice. No, I guess to get back to the question, just besides driving, um, like just weighty responsibilities, besides that, or like entrusting someone, yeah, if it was my own son, dude, I mean, like I said, it's a different time now. So like
Yeah.
you don't want to place those responsibilities because of all this information that has come out to where how damaging it could be to not let a kid be a kid. You know, like you can teach them responsibilities as like the chores, how to get things done, work around the house, work on the car, stuff like that. But um, dude, I would say probably around like 12, 13, start like really showing them how to handle responsibilities, like financial responsibilities too. Obviously when they're already running around and stuff, help them learn and develop how to do those chores and how to, keep things straight. But for the most part, weighty responsibilities, I would probably say like 12, 13, like getting into teenage years, especially. I mean, I'm old fashioned, so especially for a boy, um, if a boy is gonna grow up to take the lead, they're gonna need to know more stuff, um, than a girl might. But I would still teach my daughter, if I had a daughter, I would still teach her everything that I would teach my son, just so that way she knows, and you know she can be smarter than the average person, the average bear.
I kind of agree with what you're pointing out. I think I don't have any kids, but
That you
I
know
would
of.
definitely want to teach how. That's true. Um, how I would teach them how to be responsible. I would
Yeah.
show them like what responsibility is, but I think agreeing with what Josh was saying in regards to like letting them know that while that is how to handle responsibility, the responsibility isn't necessarily on their shoulders. I'm their parent and I'm there to take care of them.
Mhm.
So they don't need to worry about it. But they know how, and if I'm not there, then they need to recognize, well, this is what needs to be taken care of, and this is how you take care of it. Because I think the more responsible, essentially, like if you give them responsibilities, then you're also teaching them skills because they need to take care of that responsibility. So I feel like from a young age, honestly, just as they're aging, as they're growing, as they're starting to become more capable and using their mind and their body um, more, I would start giving them little until about the same age that Josh was saying, about 12, showing them the heavy responsibilities of like financial management, um, how to drive, things like that.
Yeah, dude, because I think we went over it on the last episode. Like, I knew how to hustle, like, by the time I was 11 or 12. Like, if honestly, if it wasn't for my mom telling me, like, drilling into me and yelling at me all these times, like, to smarten up, and, like, I had to do this when I was a kid. And, like, at a young age, I started looking at myself and I was all like, dang, I'm kind of worthless from what my parents have done when I was my age. So I was just like, in my mind, it's like, I got to hustle too. So, it was the same thing. Like
What
that's
age
just.
was Alexander the what? How old was Alexander when he conquered?
Oh, when he conquered, wasn't he
Like
just a
18, wasn't he?
teenager?
I think he was 18, 19, 20, something like that. Are you Googling it?
Yep. Can you hear the little tappy taps? He was
No.
20.
No,
He was 20.
20 years old.
He was 20 years old.
What have you done, Cisco?
Everything.
What have
Not
you
even
done?
20. What have
But I
you
think he
done?
was
You're
already
like
a
40.
military commander in his youth, like in his teens. Let's
Mhm.
see.
Genghis
see,
Khan too.
times are different though. You know.
I think in Mexico. So actually, what was I talking about? I forgot who I was talking to. We were talking about how kids in America are far less responsible and far less mature than kids in Mexico because they don't need to have that heavy responsibility, and they basically have it easy. They're not having to wake up and figure out what they're going to eat that morning or what they're going to eat the next for lunch or dinner or whatever.
Because they're like
If they have
self-sufficient.
dinner or lunch. Yeah, because I think kids in Mexico are super hustle.
Yeah.
Super hustle.
Dude, but Alexander the
Um,
Great, he was 16 when he led an unbeatable army. Like it was unbeatable. He was already known as a conqueror at 16, but he completely conquered at 20. So in 4 years.
to be fair, the life expectancy back there was kind of low, so
Yeah.
you have to compare that.
Mhm.
Time is weird for sure. Moving on. Where were we at?
What age are young adults able to make their own decisions? I think that's on their maturity level. Like,
Once they start making their
I
own
agree.
decisions, just
because I think it has to be decisions. It's like a certain like a clause in like a clause of a contract, right? Like you can do this, but only if this happens. So it's like you can make your decision, but only if you like run it by me, or only if you like once you start showing me that you can make your own decisions in your small ones that you do, I might trust you more. But I don't know, dude. That can be from anywhere from 16 to 18, just depending on their maturity level.
Yeah, and I think it also, like you said, it like kind of depends on their circumstances in life, on whether they're doing stuff for themselves already at a young age, or if they have it easy. So I think it also depends on that too.
yeah. I mean, it kind of goes back to a comment that Neff said. You know, he said he would give around, I think you said 12, right? 12 to like 16 more responsibilities, but letting them know that you're still there. Like if anything kind of happens, you know,
Mhm.
you'll be there to back them up.
I'm always a
Do
safety net. Mhm.
Yeah, the safety net. Do you think that would fall into, well, I think that's kind of with everybody because, you know, everybody thinks of their parents as safety nets, to be honest. So, I mean, do you think young adults would be able to would they make more risky decisions thinking, hey,
You
Like
know
my
what?
parents are gonna
my
be
parents are
there.
my safety net? Yeah. Or what? Because with my thing, I'm with me, I'm like, hey, when I make my decisions, I don't want to have to rely on anybody. But then again, that's because I think that goes back to like that old school mentality. You know, you're a guy, you got to take care of everything yourself. I don't think the mentality is wrong, but I mean, for me, I want to be able to take care of everything. Um, so with decisions, I wouldn't want to take anything too risky that would be like, hey, I'm gonna have to fall back onto my parents or something like that. I'm just kind of curious if you think that would make it have an influence on the decisions they're gonna make.
I think it would.
It's a really good
You
question,
think so?
actually.
Yeah.
I think. Oh, what did you say right now? I think so. For me, I think I agree with you. Like, I don't think of my parents as a safety net. I want to make sure that I'm taken care of by myself,
Yeah.
and I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but I try and take care of everything by myself, and I want to make sure that's the right decision. But in the experiences that I've had with, I don't want to say training, but like teaching younger ones, I let them make the decision, and I let them basically do what they think is right,
Mhm.
even if I don't think it's the right decision. And if I know through my wisdom that it's not the right decision, um, I'll still let them make it, even if like on small things like, hey, how do you make a fire or something? Like just small things like that, or even like driving. Um, what's the best course of action so that they can experience that action with me there as a safety net, uh, but as well as like also understanding their mindset and kind of how they connected those dots and what led them to that decision.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't know. I think about us, and I'm like, I know my parents would be there to help me out, and I'm pretty sure your parents will be there to help you out too. But we're still making the decisions thinking that we want to be our own person. We don't want to be dependent. We don't have to want to rely on them as
But I
well. So
think that
I
comes
kind of think,
also with a sense of entitlement. Like if a sense of entitlement and being spoiled. So if you have
Hmm.
been like not given everything in your life, but if you have been taken care of over and over, like bailed out over and over and over and over, then at that point you have a sense of entitlement and you're spoiled in a way because here's mommy and daddy bailing you out again because you know that you can rely on them because that's what's going to happen. You know, it's like I've heard people personally just be like, oh, well, don't worry about it because you'll have a fallback and it's your parents. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, your parents will come through for you again. You know, I've heard that. So it's like I think it comes with that. Like that would impact if it was that situation.
I think there needs to be a level of consequence with people's decisions as well.
I agree.
So dating, drinking,
I thought
military
we lost-
versus vices.
I thought we lost audio for a second. I was like, what happened?
I'm not gonna lie, I sensed that awkwardness, so I just wanted to see how long it would last.
Yeah, me too. I was like,
I loved it. We should leave that in.
Yeah. You know, if you stay, random fact, you know, if you stay quiet when you're talking to somebody, people will just start saying a bunch of stuff, right? To feel that awkward, to feel
It
that
looked like
quietness.
you couldn't think of those words for a second there,
I
pal.
couldn't, but I got it. I
He was just
got it.
waiting
You
for
know?
us.
Yeah.
He was waiting for us to fill it in.
Thank you. But yeah, no, that was just my random
Yes.
thought. Anyways, go ahead, Josh.
So I guess
What
we'll
was it
go
about?
to the first one. There's 3 here: dating, drinking, military versus vices. Does age matter? So does age matter in dating?
I think it depends on how mature you are, but also age.
If I
I
have
think
kids, they can't date
have to
until
be
they're
reasonable.
30.
They can't
Oh.
date until they're married.
Yeah.
As soon as
No,
you said
pretty-
reasonable, I said 30. I said, oh, that's me being unreasonable.
You know what? I'll tell you. My mom, she would always tell me, dude. Like I would always ask her, like, "Hey, when do you think I can start dating?" When I was a kid, I was probably like 22, and she was like, you know, as long as you can provide for yourself and provide for her. Like if you can't provide for yourself, like if you can't move out tomorrow, then you have no business dating. And I was just like, all right. So I started hustling even harder when I was 15, and then 26 years old came, and I finally did it.
Nice.
I think for the gap, I feel like it depends where you're at on that age gap. Like for example, like 12 and 16 is a little weird.
Yeah, that is
Um,
Yeah,
But, like,
that's
20 and
adolescent love.
24.
That's adolescent love.
No, dude, that's weird. Like, if you're someone my age,
It just sounds weird.
16
It's also
It
not
does
love.
sound
That's just
weird.
weird.
So let's just
Yeah,
say
that's
body
weird.
14, and then the
Oh,
other
God, no.
person is age 16.
Anyways, but like 20 to 24 doesn't sound that weird.
No, it
So I feel
doesn't
like that
because
matters.
they're both higher in age.
Adults.
Yeah, they're
More
both
mature.
I
adults.
hope.
More
So I
responsible.
think
But there's
4
a
years
formula.
to me
There's a
sounds like-
formula out there, and the formula is 11 years up, 7 years down.
Where did you
What?
get this formula?
Yeah,
What is that?
That's the formula. There's like
that
a
sounds like a drink.
there's no the formula.
Like
it's
7
like you
and 7?
take your oh no, that's my formula. That's for me. Like
That's
it's
14.
personalized. It's you take the year you take like both or you take your year of birth and something. It has to do with your oh my god, your date of birth.
We can
And
come back to you if you want.
Has
if you
to do
want
with your
think about it.
zodiac
I'm
sign?
stroking out right now, dude.
We can come back to you, bro. It's okay.
But it does. It has to do with a formula. But my formula came out to 11 years up and 7 years down. That's my personal formula, and everybody's is different. Like I've seen people where their formula was like 8 years up and 10 years down. Like it's crazy because they say that the formula itself, and I really think it comes from something like the stars or like what is it called? Not astronomy. What is that
Astrology?
stuff called? Huh?
Astrology.
Astrology. I think it does come with that because I worked with a few Indian people before, and when I was dating Simone, the first thing they asked me, they go, "What's her date of birth?" And I tell them her date of birth, and they go, "What's your date of birth?" Dude, they drew on the whiteboard some weird freaking calculation, and they go, "Okay, you guys are gonna work." And I was like, "What do you mean I'm gonna work? How do you know this?" And they said, "Well, you guys came out as a 2." And I was just like, as a 2, what the heck does that mean? They were
it's just math.
explaining they were explaining the entire thing, bro, and it went into like how like this one solar god or something like that like befriended this other star god, and like because they were in love, then your love's gonna work. And I was like, look, I just know it's gonna work because I love her. That's it. And but yeah, no, like I think the formula comes from something like that, but everybody's formula is different. And so yeah, mine was 11 up and 7 down, but I gotta find it. I'll find it.
7 Up is a nice drink.
It is.
It is.
Isn't that like a game you play in school too?
No, 7 down.
Yeah.
Heads up,
7 down.
a
Heads up,
down.
Oh, heads up, 7 up. That's what it is.
Head,
Yeah.
heads up,
7
7
down.
down. Yep.
I've never heard
Heads
7
down,
down.
7.
Yeah. I don't know. I always think it's weird when you have, like you guys were mentioning before, like the age differences. You know, if you have someone that's like 16 and someone that's 21, that just sounds like horrible, right?
Mhm.
But if you have someone who's 20 and then someone who's 25, it's like, that don't sound bad at all. You know?
Or when you have someone who's like 26 dating an 18-year-old, that ain't bad either.
I mean, if they have that, if the formula's right, you know, and the sun gods meet each other and they made it work, so that
go.
means that it's
That's
gonna work.
So they do some weird stuff. 38, 40 years old with like 22 years old.
Yo,
Yeah.
I'll tell. But you know what? Believe it or not, that stuff is most common in California. Like
What?
Really?
the age
Common in
gaps.
Mexico.
Oh,
would've
and
thought, like,
stupid
Florida.
common in Mexico. Yes,
Oh, yeah.
stupid
yeah.
common over there.
Super
I think
gross,
it's
dude.
in somewhere like China or somewhere where there will be like 30 dating a teenager, like
Yeah.
cultural.
Dude,
Like
Argentina
in the
even
Philippines.
like
Well, in the
Argentina.
Philippines.
Like my uncle,
mean,
I,
I know
think he was
somebody-
like in his 50s when he got married to like she was barely turning 28-ish around there. Like he was already in his 50s.
I know somebody who had their mom was, I don't know the exact age. There was like huge age gap. She was like 20 something and he was like 60.
Jesus.
Nice.
And he even sent her to culinary school to learn how to cook before he got married to her. Yeah.
Bro.
And I was like, but that's I mean, I guess that's a Filipino culture. I don't know. But I'm like, hey,
Strange with that. I don't
Yeah.
understand it entirely.
me neither.
I hear a lot of people say it's just how mature you are or like what you're able to
Yeah.
take on.
Yeah.
And like I could agree with
think
that,
it's
but
more of a
sometimes the age gap's
complex.
a little weird.
Yeah.
I think
And
it's
I
a
don't-
complex.
And you know that we don't have enough time to go into all that, you know. But I'm
Yeah,
like,
true.
But I have noticed that a lot of women or girls these days have vocalized that they prefer older guys. I don't know if it's like a thing now, right now, but I've heard it more now than before.
But I also
That-
hear that changes too, though. Like I hear that changes. Like from a younger age, they want an older man because the older men are more mature and they mature faster, right? Women mature faster than men. So then when it starts getting to where the age of maturity, where like they're fully developed, then they're gonna want someone a little bit older. Then as they get a little bit older, they want someone the same age, and as they get a little bit older, then they start looking younger. Like I've heard it from many different women that's how it is for them. Like, and I've gotten personal with some of my my residents, because it was when before me and Simone started dating, like everyone had a problem, not everyone, but there were comments made about like our age difference. And when I was talking to one of my residents, she was just like, that's no problem, like me and my husband, we're 15 years apart. And I was like, all right, then I'm fine with that. I said, how's your husband? She goes, dead. And so yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna bank in on that life insurance, then hey,
There you go.
20-year difference don't sound so bad after all.
But what about drinking? Yeah. What about drinking? For me, I'm not gonna say. I'll just say at a young
I
age,
don't
I
know.
tried alcohol. But I wouldn't recommend underage drinking. I wouldn't recommend that at all.
I don't recommend it either, actually. Obviously, when I was younger, I had a different mindset. But now that I'm getting older, which I still am very young, I find that the minds of younger people can't handle drinking properly. Like, it's always about, like, trying to get heck of faded, bro. Freaking super
Yeah.
drunk, dog.
Dude, it is.
And it's never enjoyable. You
Yeah,
can't enjoy it because it's like you're drinking and then this person's just being obnoxious and annoying, even if they don't even realize that they're obnoxious. So
if you
I think
notice too, like a lot of the slogans are, I mean, obviously it's drink responsibly, but there's a lot of slogans out there that say enjoy responsibly. And
Yes.
you really start thinking about that. Alcohol really is meant to be enjoyed. Like if there were like back in the day, there were top hat clubs that would go and drink brandy and smoke cigars. There were brandy clubs, there were whiskey clubs. All of these
Still are, I
alcohols,
think.
and they weren't. Yeah, no, there still are, but like they were more prominent. Like men would go in their suits and all that stuff. But that's how it was. And it was meant to be enjoyed. But no, I've noticed that as I've gotten older, there's many mistakes that I made in my life, and it stemmed from that view of alcohol, instead of like just trying to get faded. instead of, drinking responsibly or enjoying it responsibly and appreciating it. So I agree with you on that.
Yeah,
That's
it
a good
has.
word that you used. Appreciate.
Yeah, it has to be responsible, like you guys said. I mean, I tried beer when I was young. I was really young. I don't even know how old I was. I think I was like 9 or 10. My mom hated it because my dad would be drinking a beer and be like, "Oh, here, oh my son, I'm the only boy, Oh, here, have a taste of this Corona."
It's like put hair on your
And
chest already.
yeah, 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 like, oh, yeah, that's my son. I guess that's why he did it. I mean, but it never really made me. At the same time, it never really made me like, oh, I'm craving to drink. I want to drink. I want to get toasted. I want to get drunk when I was young, and it didn't really have an appeal to me, just because I had it. I don't know, but
I think
it just
accessibility didn't sound appetizing. Yeah.
yeah, it was like whatever. But at the same time, if you let people like in high school, your friends influence you, you become the cool kid. If you can steal a bottle of alcohol from your parents, or you can get your hands on some kind of alcohol, it becomes it definitely becomes a social thing when you're talking like in high school and stuff like that. But I kind of going back to what you guys say, I definitely recommend no, I don't say don't drink underage. Definitely not. But I think the age 21 is set. I think that's good age to start having your drink, so that way you can enjoy it. You don't have that unrealistic vision or thought of what it means to have a drink. It's not something for you to go get inebriated or drunk on. It's something for you to sip to enjoy. Because I mean, there's
I
nothing
agree
wrong
with
with
you.
having a drink.
Yeah, I feel like 21 is a pretty good age. But what do you think, Cisco?
Let me see. I'm 17. I think 17. Just kidding. No, dude. I think like of course I don't drink or anything, but you hear kids at school, especially like I've even talked to kids at school that's like, oh, you drink to get drunk, but there's no enjoyment, like you guys said. I think 21's a good age.
Because
I
you
feel
know
like that's
what?
Especially
when
like, yeah,
Even 21, dude, there's people who can't handle it at 21. There's people who can't even handle it when they're 30. Like it's just
yeah,
because of, again, it's that mindset that you have for it. Do you appreciate it? Do you appreciate what it's used for? Do you appreciate, not necessarily how it can make you feel, but do you appreciate it as a whole? And if it's just like anything else that is there for you as a tool or there for you to enjoy, if you abuse it, then it's not going to be enjoyable. You don't
yeah,
appreciate
yeah,
it.
alcohol's like a craft,
Mm-hmm.
Can you enjoy the craft, or are you there to like really just not feel it? But
yeah.
I think that kind of flows nicely into the next part, military versus vices. So to go into the military and to serve and to put your life on the line at 18 and to say that you can't drink until 21, to me, I think if you're in the military, I feel like you should be allowed to drink at 18 because you're
Mm-hmm.
doing a lot more. Your maturity is far more, so you can appreciate it. And you kind of like
And
have had to go through.
I think even smoking here in California too now,
It went to
it's
21, right?
21. Yeah.
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 So it's like you're fine, and this is like the never ending debate because it's always been, the government's fine with sending people to die at 18, sometimes even younger, right? Back in World War II and World War One, they're fine with sending boys to die, but they're not fine with letting boys drink or smoke, and that's the case that's made today. No, in no way, shape, or form is the Phat Chat endorsing any kind of argument like that, but it's just
Yeah.
it's definitely a question that people do ask. Like, why is it that here we have these people dying and yet they can't have the enjoyment of something that they want to do because of age
Yeah.
restriction?
But see, I also think that, the government wants to pull in these 18-year-olds because, they're young, they're fresh, they haven't really their mind hasn't really like formed into like themselves yet.
Mm-hmm.
They want to grab them while they're 18 and they want to mold them to what they want, turn them into machines basically. Desensitize them, do this, whatever they do in the military, right?
Soldiers.
Yeah. And what'd you say?
No, I said soldiers because you
Oh
said
yeah, yeah.
machine.
Yeah, machine, same thing, soldiers.
Mm.
And they grab 'em- I feel like they take them at that age because that's the prime age they can really kind of mold them and kind of shape the kind of person they are. But as far as like I don't know about the vices, they can go out there, they can go be killing people and die, but they can't drink. I don't know. I don't think I don't
I
think
think
they
it
should go
goes
to
into.
the military that
I think
age either.
Well, because like I googled it, but my phone died. But you could drink if you're like 18, as long as you're with a legal guardian that's over 21 and you're in your own household. Like you can't be out somewhere else with your parent. But as long as you're with your legal guardian, you can drink. You can't like get drunk or anything, but
Mm-hmm.
you can have some. So I was looking at that
but I think
not
it
too
goes
long
into
ago.
the mindset of it.
Yeah,
I mean, it's the.
mindset.
I think I look at. I'm more focused at the principle behind the restriction or the law. I think like the military versus vices thing. I think if you're in the military, I feel like you have a higher maturity level. You, I don't, I don't know. I would assume that you have a higher maturity level if you've served versus someone who does. I mean, is working at Taco Bell, who's the same age, but who hasn't gone through that molding that Sean was saying, who hasn't had their minds like hardened, and who hasn't have to go through like buds or boot camp or whatever.
Yeah,
And I
but
think it
that
goes
just kind of
more
makes
with
me think.
just. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, no, no. I just say, is it really maturity, or is it kind of like they're blindfolding everything else and just having them putting blinders on them? Is it really maturity? That's my thought on that. You said people
Question.
who like these 18-year-olds that are going into the military, are they really coming out like more mature because of what they've done or what they've been through and experienced, or they're just yeah, they have there's PTSD, but I mean, or they just kind of focused on one thing only and they were trained to forget everything else except what they're doing now. What I'm kind of curious. It could be it could seem like maturity, but is it really?
I don't think it's really
I
the
don't.
maturity aspect
I
for
think I
me.
think it's more.
Huh? Oh,
No, go ahead.
so I don't. For me personally, I don't think it's more the maturity aspect. I think it's more of like you've earned it. Like if you're gonna serve, and you are going through all that stuff, like you said, in that like boot camp, and because I know family members and friends who are in the military, who've served in the military, and the things that they go through is kind of jacked up. The training that they have to go through. So it's like, again, to me, I'd be like, give it to them. Like you've earned it. Like if that's what if you're gonna put yourself through that willingly, like you've earned that. So
I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
and two though, and I know a lot of people will probably ask this or say it, is that they chose it. They chose to do that. Like that's their choice. But for a lot of people, especially out in the Midwest and southern states and these little places where there's no real career, that is the career. Military is the career, and that's what you're going to do, and that's what's drilled in your head from a young age. So again, even if you were pushed into it, again, to me, like I said, you earned it. So
Yeah, I agree with that. So the last point: mutual respect between age groups. I feel like I don't know.
I
I
don't
have a
think there
thought, but
is. I have a thought on that too, and I'll probably get heat on it, because I don't think that there is a mutual respect. I think that there is respect when respect is earned in the eyes of those groups. So meaning that an older one who isn't as forward thinking as other older ones will look at young ones and just be like, this is just a kid. Like, what does he know? And once that kid proves themselves to that age group, then there becomes the respect. Because obviously that's the way how the old mentality is. When it comes to the younger generation, I feel that we're taught to look up to older ones and give that mutual respect to older ones, which we should. But I don't think nowadays there's really that much of that going on. So I think that's why, like, the younger generation, they make fun of older ones and call them boomers, right? Because that's exactly how they view them. It's just like, okay, boomer, like, get out of here. You don't know the lingo, you don't know the slang, you don't know the technology, like, you're useless to me, right? And I think that respect is going away unless, again, it's proven that older ones have some kind of use to that age group. That's my thought on it.
Would agree, but in my personal experience, I feel like with older people, they've looked the way I've received it. I can't speak for them, obviously. They've looked down on me until I've proven myself of capable use. And even then, they still didn't show me the honor or respect that I felt was due. Now, obviously, that's very that's very biased, and was it due? I don't know. Um, but at the same time, it's hard. I don't know if it's a good mentality. I don't know if it's a good attitude to have, but I feel like I'll give you respect if you give it to me, and I won't disrespect you unless you disrespect me. So
No,
I'll
and
show honor, I'll
that's
show respect in general.
that's what I'm talking about, and
Mhm.
I think that is what's more prevalent today, because you have a lot of older ones who will not give a younger person. It's just like if you go to the doctors, right? Like for me, if I get a doctor who's younger than me, dude, I'm just gonna be like, do you know what you're talking about? Like, did you have enough time to actually study my
Yeah,
disease, or
you'll
study,
question it.
you know what I mean? And that's how all older ones will question that. All older ones will look at you and be like, do you really know what you're doing? Like, do you know what you're talking about? And that's kind of the same thing with the younger generation, with an older generation who doesn't know technology, or doesn't know the new stuff. They're like, are you sure you know what you're doing? Like, are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm talking about. Unless each age group, unless each age group is willing to give mutual respect, or prove each other, then at that point, then I don't think there's going to be that mutual respect between the age groups. I think there's going to be that proper respect. Like when you see an older one, you're just going to be like, okay, this guy's older. I already have this instilled in me that he's older, so I'm going to go over and give him that like little bit of respect that he deserves for being old. But
Is that what, or is it just like human respect? Like respect for one's, another human.
what?
I
think it's
feel like
the
that's
I'm sorry, you
I
cut
think
out.
it's
What?
the respect the I think it's respect the elder. Respect your elder, not just human respect as a person.
Yeah.
It, I don't know.
I'm just thinking, sorry. I don't know how I feel. I don't know. Because I don't know what I think. Because I think for myself, sorry, I like stroked out right there.
What?
Um,
Okay. I think we all want to say there is mutual respect with the age gaps, age differences. We all want to say there is, but the reality of it is,
It's
I think a lot of people
deteriorating.
have that. Yeah, a lot of people have that mentality that Neff is saying. I mean, because I had the same. I have the same thing. Like I said, I don't know if it's good or bad, but if you want respect, you got to give it too. If you're gonna be disrespectful, then why do I got to be respectful to you, kind of thing.
well, that's not. I don't know if I
Um,
would say that's what you're saying. I think I'll give you respect. Um,
but you got to give it back.
exactly. And
Yeah,
if you aren't respectful, that's fine. But not until you start to disrespect me,
there you
then
go.
I feel like I'll disrespect you in return, which probably isn't a good thing, and it's
That's
probably something that I should fix.
Dude, it's reverse entitlement.
reverse entitlement.
But I think there should be like a mutual minimum respect. I think respect should be earned, but I think there's like a minimum of like valuing human life.
That's what I
A
mean.
standard, a
Yeah.
minimal standard at least. Yeah, I get you. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all
Cisco, what are
want
your
it to be
thoughts?
that way. Do
No,
you
yeah,
respect?
you guys
Do
kind
you
of
res-
explained it all.
Do you respect me, Cisco?
Not really, no.
There you
I
go.
don't respect you either.
These disrespect me.
I
Do you
respect
prioritize?
I respect the fact that you were honest with me.
I respect that.
Now we respect
So
each other.
dumb.
But yeah, I agree with you guys, especially like let me try to think. I'm like thinking to myself too. But yeah, sometimes older ones don't have respect for younger ones. Like I'll see it sometimes too. Like just in random experiences. And you'll be like, "Hey dude, come on. I'm just younger." And you kind of like have that mindset of like, "Oh dude, he's just treating me like this because I'm like heck young." But I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah,
Do
that is the
you
only
feel,
way.
are you respected? Do you feel like you are given honor and respect by those who are older within your social group?
Yeah, I think so. I think it also depends on the person too, because you could be old and like still have a lot of respect for younger ones, or you could have no respect. So I think it also depends on the person you're around or like the people.
Someone who I'm gonna give a huge shout out to. I doubt he listens. Um, he's a friend, Jeremy Geiger. He's someone I really look up to. Um, when I was growing up, I was like 16, 17. Um, and he showed me a lot of honor that I do not think was even deserved. But he still gave me that honor, gave me the responsibility, gave me the respect of he treated me as a peer, and that helped me mature. And that gave me a lot of respect for him that I honestly didn't expect, and honestly just left a huge impression on me. So huge shout out to him. Like he really helped mold me into like respecting whether it's due or not.
You should let him know that he was shouted out on this episode so he can hear us.
Give him a
Hear
call.
you.
That's an
Yeah.
extra view, dude.
Yeah,
did
that,
actually.
that was a nice shout out, man.
Wrote him a card actually, but we'll go ahead and wrap it up there. And thank you all, our listeners, for tuning into the toxicity of the Phat Chat. We hope that you've enjoyed today's lesson, and a big thank you to everyone who's tuning in around the world. Tune in next episode for these topics, and as always, please send us your questions because we love to answer those. So number 1, how important is your attitude? Number 2, bullying, how to handle, how to set boundaries, and when to walk away. And number 3, personal growth struggles. So listen up for these topics. Sorry, in the upcoming episodes of the Phat Chat dropping January 4th, 2021. So please don't forget to like and subscribe on any platform you're listening on. And if you like us, give us a 5-star rating. And don't forget, we need your help to get up to 1,500 followers on Instagram and 1,000 plays on any platform. So how can you help? Post us on your stories and your feed. Shout us out, and we'll do the same for you. Help us to get to our goal, and we'll host another raffle with a PS4 as our grand prize. And again, thanks, Fatties, for tuning in. This is the Phat Chat, signing off.
Ciao.
See ya.
Wouldn't want to be